Hey, you guys, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. And I just want to talk a little bit tonight about vision boarding. We are going into the year of 2022. Of course, this can be used for years to come because this knowledge is just universal. I want to talk a little bit about first the purpose of a vision board. Okay. In my opinion, the purpose is to see your goals and your motivation on a daily basis to help you persevere through your journey with discipline and hard work because you see what you're working towards and it helps you to put in that action to get it done. And we can be reminded every day that what we do on a daily basis matters, because when we have that vision board on our wall and we wake up every day and we see that thing, something happens subconsciously where we say, okay, it's time for me to put in this work on a daily basis. I'm not going to sit back and let my vision and my dreams just fall to the side, right? And so something about that helps us to put in that daily work that sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we're not always motivated. And that's why discipline matters, because on days where you don't feel like showing up, your discipline is going to carry you through, as well as your momentum. So it's kind of like a reminder of that. So really basically the supplies that I use, very basically, I've been doing this for 3 years now. So, a board, I usually go to Dollar Tree and just get a board at Dollar Tree. And then last time I did it, I got my kids one. So this is my kids board, which was really fun, including her. She's 13. I don't know how toddlers would do with it, but like an older kid might love to do this with you. So I have a board from Dollar Tree. I have scissors. I have glue, like stick glue from Dollar Tree. And then I've gotten like words, like you can see this says patient, gentle, humble, and loving. That's from Dollar Tree too. They have like a lot of Christian quotes and like sayings in their scrapbook section. So those are great to go on the vision board too, just because those words really are a great reminder to me of what kind of leader I want to be. Humble, all the fruits of the spirit, right? So you can get some of those at Dollar Tree. You can also grab some magazines or some books. They even have like a section there of like different magazines and books and things. Some of them are inspiring, and that's not to say that every magazine is going to have something in there that relates to you or that you resonate with, but you can just try to find something, or you can piece words together. That's always fun. So let's say there's a certain word that God puts on your heart, like humility, you can piece that together with different word letters from those magazines. Okay. And then the last thing I like to do after this Zoom, and after we've really talked about how to envision your year ahead, is I like to go to Pinterest and print out specific pictures. For example, I'm going for an 80K rank. That's okay. I want to be an 80K leader next year. I want to have a 6-figure year. I've never put that on my dream board, and it's a huge dream. And basically every rank I have put on my dream board, I have achieved. So I'm going to get that little logo from Lavelle 80K and put that on my board from Pinterest or from, Cloud Office. But also, from Pinterest, like, what I'm going to do this year is put a farmhouse. So I'm going to find a beautiful picture of a farmhouse with a lot of land. That's what I want for my children. So I have a lot of kids. And then I'm going to print pictures of my kids and cut them out and put them by the farmhouse. So it almost looks like they're at the farmhouse. And for me, that vision is really going to stand out. So from Pinterest, I'm going to get that farmhouse picture. Basically, I just download it. There's a little button you can tap called, it helps you save the image. If you can't find the button, just screenshot the image. And then you can go to like Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, Target. They pretty much all have them. Take your phone, plug it in, and just print out those pictures, whether it's 5, 10 pictures, however big your board is, however many pictures you want. But it's really nice to have those specific pictures right there in front of you. I usually always do one of like me and my husband, because my marriage is very important to me. And it reminds me on a daily basis, okay, yes, I'm, working. Yes, I'm a businesswoman, but my marriage goes first. And if my marriage is in shambles, I need to redirect my focus on my marriage versus my business. So having a picture of me and my husband there really helps. So you can print out those specific pictures, and that's all that you're going to need for your vision board. And then we basically just like piece it all together in a fun way. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about kind of how we're going to envision this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go over different areas of goals. I'm going to do 7 different categories of goals. And I want you guys to take a second, if you have a notebook, and write them down. If you don't, just write down the title of the goal that I'm talking about, and then go back after this video and sit down, have a minute with God, get in prayer, put your worship on, get your mind right, and ask God, what is it that you want for my life, God? Because ultimately we want what he wants for us. And you guys hear the scripture, that God will give you the desire of your heart. But the way I interpret that is that God is putting those desires in your heart, right? So if we seek God, he will give us vision for our life. He will put desire in our heart for the right things. And so just seek him, position yourself. I know it's hard if you're a mom. Maybe you need to get up early tomorrow and do it in those 30 minutes where your kids aren't going crazy. Maybe you need to, stay up late after they go to bed, and just really find a place where you can position yourself, get some hot cocoa, get in a good mood, have your worship on, and really just ask God, what is it, God, that you want for my life? How can I fulfill that? Okay. There's so many scriptures about working hard, and being a disciplined worker. And, the fact that lazy hands don't get fed. If we're idle, if we rely on the government, if we just, coast, we're not going to get fed. And yes, it's scary to dream big. I can tell you myself, I don't think we're getting stimulus checks next year because our income's going to be too high, or from this year, you know what I mean? And that's scary because it's like those checks help, yes, but ultimately I want to move forward in life anyway. And so I have to kind of embrace this new lifestyle. Okay, I'm actually increasing my income now, and we're not going to rely on government help. So anywho, okay, the first section would be spiritual goals. Okay, so for spiritual goals, what is it that you want to achieve spiritually next year, and how can you practically do that? So is it going to be a new devotional? Do you want to read a new godly book every 3 months? Give it a timeline. Do you want to start a daily journal? Do you want to serve? Maybe my goal is once a month. I want to serve once a month. So try to give it kind of like a time. Do you want to plug into small groups? Maybe your church is going to have small groups, or maybe they already do. Do you want to start plugging in weekly? Maybe if you have kids, you want to serve in the kids service because, you could be with your kid. Maybe you work, you want more time with your kid, but then you can do it in church too. Whatever it is, ask the Lord what spiritual goals that you want to achieve. And then you can kind of just write those out and put them on your board like that. You can type them out and print them. However, which way you guys want to do it. If you're more visual, you can have a picture, of your child and the church, maybe right next to each other. And that will be your indication. Okay, this year I'm going to serve in church with my child. For me, I used to do a Heart for the Homeless group. And I really want to get back into it. So that's going to be my goal for 2022 is to start doing Heart for the Homeless again, where we make homeless bags for the homeless, go hand them out. Maybe you want to be a small group leader. So write out those things for spiritual goals. Okay. The second one is financial planning goals. So as y'all know, that's a very important part of our life, right? It's how we function, it's how we buy, trade, and get food. And I believe the Lord does want us to be a good steward of what we have. And when it comes to tithing, you can tithe at any percent that you make, and anything that you make, you can tithe, because a tithe is always the same. It's always 10%. So I can never understand why someone wouldn't tithe, because it's always just that 10% of what you make. If you make a lot more, you're going to give a lot more. So give yourself a tithing goal. And that's what I'm doing. My goal, it's ambitious. Okay. My goal is to tithe $10,000 next year. What's your tithing goal? Because that's going to determine too your income, and however much you want to tithe, write that out for next year. Make it bold, sometimes I dream too small. Sometimes the Lord surprises me, and then I'm going above and beyond, and I should have really dreamed bigger. So dream big. How much do you want to tithe? Savings. How much do you want to save in 2022? Break it down. So give yourself a number for the year. My number is 20,000. I want to save 20,000 in 2022. Then you break it down into months. How much is that per month? Then you break it down into weeks. How much is that per week? And that's not to say don't be discouraged if it doesn't happen right away, but at least if it's right in front of you, you have a benchmark to try to reach. So break it down. Okay. So we talked about income goal, how much of an income you want to make in the year, and then you can break it down into months and weeks. And then what you want your weekly paycheck to look like. You can even put a rake as a goal, like I said. If you are with Lavelle, if you are in the business opportunity, there's nothing wrong with putting that little rake sticker up there of what you want to do. And Allison, I love how you save your, yes. That was such a huge accomplishment financially last year. Like Allison said, our poodle was very expensive, but I had to get a poodle because I'm hypoallergenic. So I literally saved my commission checks in my back office so that I could afford the poodle that we bought right during the holiday season, which obviously I would not have been able to do without commissions and without planning ahead of time and saving for the dog my commission checks. So that's why just having it in front of you and envisioning that and really just finding practical ways to do these things is going to help you. How much debt do you currently have? So I want you guys to write it out. Again, if you have a notebook now, do it now so you can start doing it. But if not, come back to this video. How much debt do you currently have? And that might take you a while to find out. Go in, look at all your accounts, add them all up, stare that number down in the face, as scary as it is. Write it out, stare it down. Okay. And then I want you to write out, I paid off X amount in 2022. Whatever number that is for you, it should be your entire amount of debt. Okay. That's what I challenge you to write out. I paid off X amount in 2022. And I can tell you right now, that is a godly principle. He wants us to be out of debt. He wants us to be the lender, not the borrower. Which if you're in debt now, I'm not saying that's wrong. I have credit cards, okay? But my goal is to be debt-free. So I paid off, write it out, you guys. And how much would you have to pay off monthly to be able to achieve that? Okay. Write out that number, break it down into months. How much are you going to need to pay off every month? Okay. Also, how do you plan to stay debt free? Maybe it's an app. Maybe it's a new bank. Maybe it's the Dave Ramsey plan. Didn't work out for me, but if it's for you, it's for you. If you like it, do it. But again, go to Pinterest, print out. That's what I'm going to do. I have an app that me and Brandon are starting to use called Truebill. I'm going to print out the little logo and put it on my board because it's going to remind me every day. You need to get on that app. You need to get serious. You and Brandon communicate through that app And that's how you're going to achieve this goal in 2022. So I'm going to have that app right there. Are you going to cut up credit cards? Are you going to sell your car? What does that look like, paying off debt to you? What does that mean? Does it mean you're going to get a minivan instead of having the car you have? That's what it might mean for us. You know, we're paying loan payments on our car. I'd rather just own a car outright. You know, so I'm going to probably have a minivan on my board, which doesn't sound like a vision that someone will want. But in me, from my perspective, in God's, the way I want to serve God, I don't want to be in debt anymore. So that's how my vision board is going to look like. So what does that look like for you? Really sit down and think about that. And then, you know, investments, if you're trying to invest, how much is that? You know, maybe you have a book goal, you want to increase your knowledge in finances, put those books on your vision board to remind you through the year, oh yeah, I was going to read this financial book. Oh yeah, I was going to up my knowledge. Oh yeah, I was going to take a night class to help me learn how to manage my finances. Put that book on your board. Okay. Third one, you guys, is fitness goals. So I want you to write out some fitness goals that you have. Maybe it's getting a gym membership. Maybe you're not a gym person. It's going on YouTube. Print out that little YouTube logo with like a little workout person, whatever it looks like to you. Okay. You know, maybe you want to eat more veggies. I almost always have veggies on my vision board because it's just a great visual reminder. Sue, put the dessert down. Okay. I love sweets. You know, what does it look like? More nuts, fruits. Is that where, are you going to do more home cooking? Are you going to stop eating out? Are you going to get some nice Tupperware and use that to meal prep? What are you going to do for your fitness goals? The next one is educational goals. So what is your book goal? Okay. The way you move up is to educate yourself, get more knowledge into you so you can pour into others. Okay. How many books do you want to read this year? Put that on your board. Are there specific books that you want to read? You can print the little cover off, put it on your board. Okay. You know what, too, if you finish a goal, you can put a sticky over it because it's done. And how cool does that look to your mind's eye? Like, okay, yeah, I accomplished that. I got that done, right? My mind loves check marks. So, you know, check marks or like little stickies when you're done with that book would be amazing. So that's educational goals. Or maybe you want to go back to school. I don't know, you know, what your goals are. Maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe you want to start homeschooling your kids. You know, whatever that looks like. Okay. The next one, you guys, is family goals. I think date nights are very important if you're married. If you're not married, you know, dates with your kids. If you have kids, maybe you can plan once a month to take your kids out individually. And it doesn't even have to cost a lot. It doesn't really have to cost anything. You know, maybe you can do a picnic at the park with your kid. That's a date where you give them special time just for them. And so that's kind of one of my goals. And so what does that look like for you? You know, how can you print that out and have it right in front of you? A goal for your family. So I would say marriage is number one. And if you're not married, you know, your kids and how you can cater to them. Okay. The next one, you guys, is social goals. So I've always had like little things on my board about, you know, me wanting to go on more coffee dates with other Christian women, building relationships with Christian women, you know, having good influences in my life, play dates with other moms, you know, and I'm going to try to give it this year like okay, once a month, you know, kind of like a deadline kind of. So once a month goal. And then when I see that every day, I'm like, okay, I'm reminded, you know, send that message, you know, try a little harder, make a phone call, you know, bake them cookies. Like, let's get this relationship going because it is important to God that we have that fellowship with one another. So, and then lastly, you guys, is the career goals. So we already talked about the rank logo, whatever. I encourage you, whatever rank you're going for, do 1 up, okay? So if you're going for 4K, you have never achieved 4K, put 12K on your board. Dream big, because you don't know what God has in store for you. And when you see that 12K, you're gonna be extra motivated to be like, okay, it's time to get going, get on my phone, do my thing, do my IPAs, all my stuff. Stay disciplined. So that's pretty much it, you guys. That's what I have for you. Go ahead, and I encourage you to like go back to this video, like pause as you're doing them again, and as you're writing them out, so that when we do go to make the vision boards, you have specific goals already written out for your life. Okay. So thank you guys for tuning in. I love y'all, and I can't wait for Thursday. Oh, I was trying to take a screenshot. Wait, Allison, don't go away. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Bye.